All right, good afternoon, boys and girls. We are on lesson 61, using letters to identify geometric figures. All right, so our objective for today is to use letters to name polygons, which are many-sided shapes, two-dimensional sided shapes, and use letters or symbols, and we're also going to use letters and symbols to name an angle. All right, here's the joke of the day. Why did the obtuse angle go to the beach? Because he was over 90 degrees. Here's your vocabulary, just one for today. It's endpoint, and endpoint means the point at which a line segment ends. And then I'll show you what that kind of looks like, all right? All right, so here's our new concept. Basically, the endpoint of any shape or line are basically the corners, okay? That's your endpoint of each of these squares. And we can name every point on a polygon with a letter. That's typically what we do in math. This is point A on the triangle, point B on the triangle, point C. And when we name this triangle, what we typically do is we will write a small triangle and then we name them by the points, and it has to go in order. So it could be point BCA, CAB, ACB, all right, BAC, CBA. It really doesn't matter what part you start on, as long as it connects. You know, and we'll see that when we do the rectangle. Okay, when we do a rectangle or square or some sort of quadrilateral, um, you would name it A, D, C, B. All right, and it has to be in order. You couldn't skip and go A, C, B, D. It has to go in order as it follows the perimeter of the shape. Okay, so that's your new concept for today. And then also when you have straight lines, okay, say CB was one straight line. This point is point C, and this point would be point B, and that would be one line. And how we would show that is line CB. Okay. Okay. So like how I was saying about naming lines, say if you want to talk about this side of the line, it would be line AB. And then how you would write that on paper is AB with a line on top of it. Okay? And that would tell us that this is line AB right here. So when we talk about rectangle ABCD, so we go A, B, C, D, and then we're going to name the segments perpendicular to AB. All right, so what segments are perpendicular to this line right here, line AB? All right, that is either going to be this one right here or this one. Perpendicular means it's going to form a 90-degree angle, okay? And so right here we can see that line CB is perpendicular to AB, but also line DA is perpendicular to AB, okay? Every rectangle has two pairs of parallel lines, so AD is parallel to BC. Okay, so AD is parallel to BC, and then the line parallel to AB is DC. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the length of segment PQ, so we're looking at from here to here, PQ, is 3 centimeters, all right? So we're going to say that this is 3 centimeters here. And the length of PR is 8 centimeters. Yeah, so from here to here equals 8. So if we know from PR, this whole length is 8 centimeters, but here, this little segment here is 3 centimeters, how can we find out what the length of this is? So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract, okay? And the way we do that here, what they're showing is 3 centimeters plus L for length equals 8. Well, what's 3 plus L? Well, 3 plus L, what is 3 plus L that equals 8? Whatever, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. 3 plus an unknown number equals 8, and that would be 5, okay? So 3 plus 5 equals 8. Now, you could also subtract 8 minus 3 equals 5, and you get the same thing. Now, bonus question, how many millimeters are equal to 5 centimeters? Try to figure that one out. That's pretty easy. All right. Example number 3. We have quadrilateral QRST. Remember QRST. You have to go with the flow. If angle S, is an acute angle, okay, so this is angle S. It's acute, meaning that it's smaller than 90 degrees. We got to find another angle that is smaller than 90 degrees, okay? And the other only angle that's smaller than 90 degrees is this one right here. Okay, you could kind of see that it's smaller and that these are a little bit wider. All right, typically when you have an angle that is smaller than 90 degrees, the opposite one will be also smaller than 90 degrees. All right. All right. So we're going to look at rectangle JKLM to figure these problems out. The first one is which segment is parallel to JK? Remember, parallel are like train tracks, okay? And look at the two L's, like train tracks. So look for JK. We're looking at line JK. And so what line segment is parallel to JK? So your answer should have look like this with the line over it, okay? Figure out which line segment of this rectangle is parallel to this one right here. Pretty simple. If JK is 10 centimeters long, okay, if this is 10 centimeters and JM is half of JK, what is the perimeter? So if this is 10, what's half of that? And then try to figure out what the perimeter, which is the surrounding whole rectangle, okay? Use words to show how each of these symbols is read and draw an example of each. All right. Now, I didn't get to teach you this in the practice, but a line segment stops, okay? It's just from point to point. So if you have BC, it goes from point to point. Now, CD would be a ray, okay? CD with a line like this and there's an arrow at the end, it's called a ray. So it starts with one point and it goes all the way across with an arrow, all right? There's no arrow on the other end. Now in PQ, we have, it's a whole line that keeps going on forever. So it goes, the arrows go this way all the way, and then this line goes all the way this way. So imagine if this was a line and it goes straight on, there would be another arrow on the other side of this line. Okay, that's how you would show PQ, and just put 2 dots in the on the line somewhere on the line segment. All right, but for the ray, it would start with the end point and keep going, and so that you would put an arrow, just how it is on here. Okay, now for letters F through I, you are going to find, let's see, angle AMD. So we're going to name angles, all right? This is an angle, right? AMB is an angle, AMD is an angle, AMC, BMC is an angle. All of these are different angles and that are connected with one another through the endpoint M. Okay, so look at AMD right here, right? That's an obtuse angle. Using 3 letters, what is another way to name this angle? All right, so you have to use these AMD. Find another way to name this angle, okay? And then which angle appears to be a right angle? All right, which angle here, like out of all these lines and angles, which one, if you put them together, would equal a right angle? All right, which is a 90-degree corner edge. All right, and which ray appears to be perpendicular to line MD? So if this MD goes on forever, all right, it's a one line. What line is perpendicular to it? And that would create a 90-degree. And then find an angle that appears to be acute. Okay, so name an angle. Usually when you name an angle, it's 3 points together, A, M, B, A, M, C, A, M, D. That when you name an angle, it's usually 3 points, okay? And so that's how you would name it. So pick one that appears to be acute and name it. And also when you name it, let me see if it's back here. Oh, see this little deal right here? Um, this is how you start when you name an angle. You put this little. It looks like a little small angle. All right, that's how you would name the angle. Okay, so when you're naming an angle here that has multiple angles on it, you put that little. It looks like almost like a less than sign. All right, but and then you would put AMD with M would be the middle. Okay, so if you're gonna name this angle AMD, little angle sign, and then the letters AMD. All right. If you have confusion, make sure you just write your questions down so we can go over it in class. All right. Thank you guys and have a great night.